It was probably around a year, just under a year, if I remember
I
correctly.
worked at Squeeze for 2.5, almost 3 years.
A little over a year.
Like it was really freaking small at the time. Like Carson was very, very involved in, day-to-day phone call type stuff. I mean, I was a broke college kid. In my first semester of school, I needed a job super quick. So I was out there trying to figure out, what to do.
And I was looking for a job that kind of like provided me an easy place to, fit right in, work with people, and also give me like the flexibility being in college, be able to like work around my schedule, and obviously like the competitive pay and everything helped it be a pretty easy decision. Plus my best friend at the time was working there.
Got the job through my neighbor, and she was raving about her position at Squeeze. I really liked how convenient it was because I was going to grad school at the time. I really liked the flexibility of it. They were so good with my schedule. At the time, I was working at a daycare, and Squeeze paid more.
I was in the door-to-door sales space for a while, and I knew I wanted to get into the SaaS sales world, and I needed some inside sales experience. And Squeeze was local. The interview process was great. I loved at least my manager at that time. I also got to meet the owner, and they were really great to chat with.
As far as Squeeze goes, it was a great job. It is a grind. It provided for me while I was in school and was able to, and they worked around my school schedule, which I really enjoyed.
I wanted to get off the doors. I knew I liked like outbound prospecting, but in inside sales type of role. And so the SaaS industry is somewhere where I knew I enjoyed, right, or I wanted, and getting that experience at Squeeze from their outbound flows was in direct correlation of what I wanted to do in that future. Yeah, I made the decision pretty easy.
Also, not to mention, in terms of a traditional call center, Squeeze is very far from that. I've worked in call centers before where it's just like gray and sad and depressing.
So one of my favorite things was they had a ping pong room. Are you familiar with Sting Pong? I forget if it was Amy or our boss, Angela. I missed a point, so I had the back of my shirt up, and I think it was Amy or Angela walked by, and there was this huge glass window, and they were like, it just looked at us and like, I don't even want to know what's going on, and just kept walking.
The best part about Squeeze was the people that I worked with there. I was there when we had the first office that we were in American Fork. It was so easy to see how Squeeze took care of their people, and we all were just like really good friends. We'd go out to lunch, we'd do things outside of work. That's the best part, is like the friendships that I made while working at Squeeze.
I just had good memories and associations with Squeeze throughout my whole time.
My cousin worked at Squeeze Media with me at the time, and and I won't go into details obviously, but there's a pretty personal thing that happened. And it was really cool to see both Carson and Amy just have his back and our back completely when he needed time off, and still making sure he was getting paychecks. As far as like, if there's a company that, puts their employees first, it's definitely Squeeze.
Man, good question. When I was a couple months into the job, one of the people on the executive team had asked if I'd be willing to move over to a different workflow and manage a team. And you kind of imagine, I was like really young. They like took a shot on me. I'd only been there a couple months, and it felt so good to see like my hard work pay off, or see someone appreciate like my time or that effort. I remember being on cloud nine.
I am a speech language pathologist. I work in an elementary school.
I'm at a company called Corvi. It's a fintech company. We sell software to financial accounting, CPA tax firms.
I'm currently one of the directors of sales for the Houston, Texas region of Dynamic SLR, which is a solar sales company.
So I'm still in sales. I've been doing sales, whether it's been door-to-door stuff. I transitioned to software a couple years ago. I've been with startups that started with 100K and annual recurring revenue and brought them to 10 million. For the most part, all that started at Squeeze.
Outbound, I'm full sales cycle. I get to work with professionals, business owners all over the world. Tons of things to be happy about where I'm currently at.
Like I said, I'm working as a speech language pathologist, so I work with kids, but Squeeze helped me just be more comfortable on the phone because I have to talk with parents. I have to talk with teachers. It helped me problem solve on the spot. Sometimes I'll get questions from parents and I don't know the answer. And so I've kind of been able to learn to just form answers, and I was able to do that at Squeeze too, because I didn't always know the answers to clients' calls. I still work as a team of special educators, and that was kind of the case too at Squeeze, even though I had my own goals.
I run a team of salesmen. Basically, we are out in really just selling. We sell solar panels. I'm not going to put it any more simple than that, right? So it was pretty easy to see how Squeeze kind of prepared me for that. Before working at Squeeze, I never really thought about sales in general. Everyone I know at school is going to work for a big bank or some sort of like investment firm. And I realized from working at Squeeze and then shifting into this that my strengths are not spreadsheets and numbers, but are people.
Don't treat it just like, hey, this is a means to an end, which it might be for some people. Like some people might not have any, desire to be in sales for the rest of their life. Take in, everything you can get.
Take in everything, making sure you're getting the most out of your trainings, making sure you're taking in all the coaching from, your direct managers. They're like really there for the benefit of you and to help you, make money and succeed in the position.
You don't go Squeeze and just kind of skirt by. You got to put in the work. There's a lot required out of you, which is good.
You do your most, learning and most education when you're actually working inside of a company. Don't treat it like a 9 to 5 or your 4-hour shift. Like get the most out of it you can, especially if it's on a commission-based job. Like if you're going to be there, you might as well earn the most money you can.
And also, there's so many fun activities and events that Squeeze has to like really just make it a fun work environment. Go to the parties and the events and
try to be proactive with your managers. I know I made a lot of mistakes. Gosh, they were so nice to work with me on things I could have done better and, not just throw me under the bus.
Stick with it and have a positive attitude. And if things aren't going the way you want, just try to communicate that with your team lead, and they're pretty good about helping you try something new. They're very helpful. At least that's what I found.
Have fun. They really enjoy having fun. Like they're not in this just for money or just, to get by. They're having fun, they're providing a ton of value. So try to get on that level with them.